Earlier, I made a video about an emotionless marriage, how you know if you're in one and what it feels like and how it develops, what kind of partners will stay in that forever. I also encouraged you that if you were in one, that there was hope and recovery of working your way out. So today in this video, I want to address that. I want to tell you the therapeutic way of working together and restoring your marriage from emotionless to one of emotional intimacy that is strengthened and encouraged and actually helps support the marriage, making you both feel closer. So I want you to watch part 1 first, which is what it is and why it develops. And then this is the healing video. What I want you to also consider is when I go through this, could you do this on your own? Yes, absolutely. You can heal this on your own, but it takes a lot of motivation. And since we all bring in our past in the creation of a marriage together, I think working with a mental health professional, one who specializes in relationships and marriage, is going to be to your benefit. The reason is it's always good to have an objective third person who's able to see what your actions really are doing, what your vibes, what your emotions are telling you, how you're actually reacting. Whereas you may idealize what you're saying, but a therapist could hear it from another point of view and give you help with restructuring the way you're talking and acting toward each other. So here we go. What I want you to understand is that a marriage can survive conflict better than it can survive indifference. So basically, recovery usually does not begin with fixing everything. It begins with telling the truth about what has been lost, not accusing your partner, not dramatizing, not exploding, just telling the truth. And that would sound like something like, I miss us, or I don't just miss fun or romance, I miss feeling emotionally close to you. I feel lonely in the marriage, and I don't want to keep pretending I don't. That kind of an honesty can be a turning point for the two of you if the other person is still reachable. So it has to begin with one partner actually addressing the issue honestly without accusing their partner. What helps rebuild emotional life, if both people are willing, these things matter the most. The first, name the disconnection clearly. Vague unhappiness rarely creates change. Specific truth does. Instead of, we're off, try something like, I feel emotionally alone with you. We talk about life, but not about us. I don't feel pursued or connected. Second, stop talking only logistics. This is what emotionless marriages turn to because they're still together, but they've just lost that deep connection. A marriage cannot live on scheduling bills, errands, and parenting updates. At least a few times a week, there must be conversation that sounds like, what's been heavy for you lately? What have you been carrying alone? What do you miss about us? Where do you feel far from me? That's where marriages begin coming back to life. When your partner gives you their honest answer, don't reject it. Don't get defensive. Listen to it. Your comeback should always be, man, that sounds like it really hurts. How can I help with this? What part of me can I change to give you support in this area? Now, that's a partner who really wants to work on this. The third thing is rebuild emotional safety before demanding intensity. What does that mean? People often try to fix the disconnection by demanding more affection, more sex, more effort. You won't get that. But what it usually needed first is a safe contact. So less criticism, less defensiveness, more curiosity. Why do you feel that way? When did that happen? More gentle responses. I'm really sorry. It sounds like you feel really alone. More repair after tension. Remember, the repair is you making personal changes. Not only you, but your partner's going to do that as well. Create the daily moments of warmth. Don't underestimate small things done consistently. Those are the crux of marriage. The small things are things like good morning. How did you sleep last night? Let me make some coffee. How can I get you ready for work? Or how can I help get you motivated to go for a walk with me? Things like that really matter. And if you do it every day, one small thing, like make it an effort to get up in the morning and make coffee, or get up in the morning and say your meditation or prayers so you'll be open to your partner. A real hello and goodbye. 10 minutes of no phone connection, like you put your phone away, take their hand and say, hi there. Just looking at their eyes, you would be amazed what that does. Sitting together after dinner and just talking. A hand on the shoulder when you pass. Instead of just brushing their shoulder, put your hand on their shoulder. Any moment you get, put a hand on their shoulder or grab their hand, asking one meaningful question at night. Like something like, what made your day special today? Thanking each other for ordinary things. Marriage does not usually die in one event. It takes thousands of emotionally empty moments, and that's what kills it. And it begins healing the same way. You're going to make little moments happen every day. Get help before the numbness hardens. Once disconnection becomes your identity, this is just who we are, it gets harder to repair it. Sometimes a good couples therapist can help translate what each person has stopped knowing about the other. Or the therapist can help you say what is in your heart and mind when you might have just grown so accustomed to the disconnect that you stop talking. Not because a marriage is doomed, but because it's become emotionally undernourished. Like everything I'm telling you, this is not a dead marriage. This is a marriage that has just gone numb, emotionless. So to bring it back takes small actions every day. So you have to have that effort. If only one of you is trying, it gets really more painful, because basically, if there's only one person trying, a marriage going through a disconnected season, it can't repair. So what you need to do, if you're naming the loneliness, reaching, initiating, asking for repair, and trying to restore connection, but your spouse remains emotionally unavailable, dismissive, or chronically uninterested, then your pain deserves to be taken seriously. Because there's a difference between a marriage going through a disconnected season and a marriage where one person is being asked to survive on emotional crumbs indefinitely. A lonely marriage can sometimes be healed, but it cannot be healed if only one person is trying. Sometimes one of the partners goes to therapy and things get better, but in this case, it's not true. Both people have to be motivated to make this change. The most essential, deepest truth is it's often, I miss being emotionally met. I miss being loved in a way I actually can feel. And I miss feeling alive in my own relationship. And that ache really matters, because human beings do not just need commitment. They need connection, they need warmth, and they need to feel emotionally close with their partner. So if you are at this point and now you have a plan, the most important thing is your partner is with you and they want to make the change too. You guys can do it. This marriage is not over. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.